Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So I finally got this little Dolmar 144 on the bench. This is the saw I picked up for 60 bucks. What can I tell you about it? These are 89 cc's. It came with a 30-inch bar. This is 404 chain. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this bar because I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but up here I got a bar from when I had a 152 like this. And it's a 24-inch bar and chain. It's running, this is a brand new loop of steel RS. It's never been in wood, so that might go on. It's a hard nose, but whatever. It is what it is. And then I might try to, or I might just get a new chain for this one. Now these are kind of an oddball because they use a 716 or 17 millimeter bar nut. Thought that was going to work, but did not. Wait, what do I have here? 18 millimeter. It's too big. This one's can crack nuts, but let's see what else I got here. 11/16s work. 11/16s will work if I can find a 3/8 socket so I can use the ratchet that I have here. You guys want to try and figure this crap out. Yeah, sorry I had to run outside to actually get a socket, 17 millimeter socket. It's not something I use in the house very often. Oh wait, those are great. I wonder if the impact wouldn't get them. Sounds like the dogs are flipping out. One dog has some anxiety issues. That one limp right away once I tweak these nuts. Okay. Can't believe how big nuts these are though. It's the Germans to do things different, right? Like with steel with their 3/4 inch nuts, and steel and dolmar both use weird bar mount patterns. Oh, I think this is a 14 millimeter slot. I'm pretty sure I can make this work on a steel pretty easily, as long as oiling holes are in the right place, which I have no idea if they are or not. That's a big old sprocket on this thing. Big old 404 8 tooth. I don't know how to read Windsor part numbers, but yeah, this bar is actually really good shape. This bar and chain is worth the 60 bucks Canadian I spent on that saw, I'm sure. But because it's an old ass semi-chisel chain, I don't know if we're going to get to use that. Or I'll go to this local steel dealer and get some steel RS for it. Okay, let's just sit there for now. Yeah, anyways. The big thing that I'm doing with this saw, why it's in the shop, is because it runs, but it needs a carb kit battery. I guess that's not surprising. Most old saws, that's all they need. You can do fuel lines too and fuel filter, but I mean, it would run. It would draw off the tank if you kept the RPMs up. So I'm just guessing the diaphragms are a little on the stiff side. I think I put a compression tester on this thing when I first got it. It's running about 170 psi. Might be able to use it if I ever dig into it and port it. I'm not sure if I'll port it because sometimes porting plastic saws is not a good idea in my opinion, because once they're gone, they're gone. It's not like we're making any new ones. That's not something the Chinese are about to start cloning. Go. Flank steak in the smoker here soon. Supper flank steak and Mexican rice. Get filters for these things? Probably not. Probably most thing on this saw, unobtainium. That's why I don't want to port it, because I mean, if you have to find a new cylinder, you can find them, but they're also bloody expensive. Also, I'm really hoping it's a Tilton HS carburetor. And it is. That fuel line still bored. This kind of has a weird fuel line setup. Almost like a barb setup in here. That's interesting. What's your torque? I like it. Must be a German thing. Okay. Choke is wired in, kind of like a. That's kind of a funny setup for the choke. Bring you guys in here. So it's just a straight rod with a cotter pin going through it. I don't know if that's original. I'll have to check an IPL, but I mean, ain't nothing wrong with that. Okay, so I'm not gonna bore you with the rest of the pulling this apart, but it's a pretty decent saw. Anyways, see you in a bit. Yeah, so we got this bad boy all back together. Looks as surprised as I do. But yeah, I can try this today. It's getting late. I got other stuff to do. Plumbing issues in the house. Hooray! But yeah, this thing. So when I took apart the carb, like if you watched the earlier videos, this thing wouldn't stay running. On the metering diaphragm, there was no gasket with the metering diaphragm, so it was sitting directly on the face that the gasket should be between, you know what I mean? So I'm thinking that's probably the issue, because I mean, it's got compression, it's got a good spark, it was firing, it just had fuel delivery issues, which is probably because of that missing the gasket. So yeah, get this running, and then this saw's going to go on eBay, unless some viewer wants to make me an offer on it. I'm probably going to throw it on eBay, because I really don't want it. I could sell this for enough to fund some other projects. But anyways, if you're interested, let me know. Otherwise, this will be on eBay probably sometime this weekend. I'm not going to charge much for it, maybe 250 bucks Canadian, but it is what it is. Anyways, take her easy. Bye.